Hello, beloved sister, and welcome back to a quick check in with From the Margins. This is the stuff that happens on the sidelines, questions I get, things you might be wondering. So let's dive in. You might be wondering, what exactly is this breathe journey you keep talking about, Christina? Like, what do we actually do? What's the point? You're asking the right question. And honestly, it's one I wish more women would ask before they spend another year spiraling in circles, feeling spiritually stuck, mentally tired, and quietly ashamed for not being further along by now. So, what's the point? What's the point of coaching, of slowing down, of doing all this inner work when life still demands so much from me? I get it. Because when you're strong, responsible, and already doing all the things, taking on something new can feel like a luxury you don't have time for. But here's what I've learned and what the Breathe Journey is all about. Sister, we don't have an action problem, we have a trust problem. Most high capacity women I work with aren't stuck because they're lazy or unmotivated. They're stuck because they're exhausted, because somewhere along the way they started carrying more than they were created to hold. And underneath all that striving, fear is quietly calling the shots. If you've followed me at all, you know fear clutters, it confuses. It tells you you're being cautious when really you're just being controlled. It feeds you self limiting beliefs that sound like wisdom. Fear hijacks your peace, it silences your passion and delays your purpose because it erodes trust. And that's why the Breathe Journey exists, because you can't obey when you haven't surrendered, and you can't surrender when you don't trust. Obedience requires surrender. Surrender requires trust, and fear erodes trust at every turn. So, how can we walk into the fullness of God's calling in our power, our anointing, our kingdom purpose when we don't trust Him, when we don't trust ourselves, when we don't trust the circumstances He's placed us in? That's why the Breathe Journey isn't a quick fix. It's a sacred progression, a way of learning to walk with God that's sustainable, spirit led, and rooted in truth. We move through three intentional phases, each one aligned with the transformation God is already stirring in you. So let me walk you through them real quick. Phase one, peace, also known as I can't keep doing it like this, but also maybe I was never supposed to. This is where we unravel the pressure, the striving, and the perform for worth patterns that have you running on empty. Here, we rebuild trust in God's character, in your identity, and in His place for your life. Now, phase two, passion, aka I don't even know what I want anymore, becomes maybe God's desires have been buried in me all along. This is where we learn to surrender more than just our schedule or our roles, but the beliefs that have been keeping us small. You stop overthinking, you start listening, and as fear quiets down, desire wakes up. We lay down the old beliefs that your desire was dangerous or selfish, and we make room for God to stir up what's been buried in you. You start to remember who you are and reclaim what matters. Phase 3, purpose. Usually what we hear here is, what if I get it wrong? But the truth is, obedience isn't perfection. It's partnership. This is where we walk it out. You've learned to trust, you've learned to surrender. Now you're ready to obey with God, not just for Him. Because purpose isn't just about impact, it's about intimacy with God and integrity in how you show up. So in this phase, we build rhythms of obedience. Ask, seek, knock. Sound familiar? We talk about legacy not as a distant concept, but as the fruit of your daily yes. And we prepare you for what obedience actually includes: resistance, refinement, risk, but also joy, power, glory. Everything before obedience was just preparation. This is the phase where you stop leading from pressure and start leading in partnership with God. So, what's the point? The point is, you don't have to keep doing it like this. You don't have to stay in survival mode, second guessing your value, your voice, or your direction. The Breathe Journey offers a clear, spirit-led path forward that's rooted in truth, covered in grace, and designed to hold what you're ready to release. It's all about walking lighter instead of striving harder. You were never meant to carry it alone, and you don't have to anymore. Blessings.